Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Yeah, you right there, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman, look at me. Is there a package just waiting for me? Where's my box? Where's my box? What's in the box?
Welcome to another episode of What's in the Box. I'm your host, Sam the Craze Man Vera. Thank you for watching. This is episode 3, and this is a follow-up to the haul, the delivery that I received from Midtown Comics of my collection of indie #1 issues from independents that I haven't heard of because I haven't collected in a while, and I thought that I'd shine some light on what's happening in the independent community since the mainstream is kind of cuckoo right now with DC laying people off and all that other stuff. So this is Darchon. This is one of the books that I received in the that I ordered, and that came in the last episode if you watched episode 2. So this here, I talked about how important a cover is, and this cover was pretty dope because it told me that there's something happening with the book that he's reading that leads up to this specter in the background, right? So before I go into, and remember, this is spoilers. If you haven't heard of Absolute Comics or Darchon, and you're interested in it, I'm gonna spoil some things from you. So this is, if you want to walk away, walk away. But here it comes. But what I like about this book, first and foremost, #1 was the premise in the background, the plot, because for those. I didn't realize how challenged I was with my vocabulary until I read this book, and I was like, oh snap, they're using a lot of words. I need my dictionary. Where's that dictionary? Made me pause for a second. I was like, whoa, I'm a little challenged. So, and then in the beginning, reading the book, I was like, what's going on? There's a lot of poetry, Edgar Allan Poe influence, the whole bit. And so I'm like, all right, riddles. Remind me of the old Batmans with the Riddler. Riddle me this. So here it is. The modern man thinks he has discovered much of how the universe works. He is dead wrong. One man stands between our world and the infinite horde of supernatural perils that threaten to consume it on a daily basis. His name is Darchon Blake. And he is here to save us. Dun, 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 dun. So Darchon is a paranormal investigator based out of New York City. Ah, yeah. Right? He travels the globe dealing with a wide variety of phenomena that most don't seem to believe. It's unbelievable. Biggie Smalls is the illest. Right? He is hired by governments, corporations, and even average citizens. And he always gets results. How does he do it? Regardless of the origin of the threats he faces. Be them zombies, ghosts, poltergeists, interdimensional threats, demons, or even alien menaces. He has stood triumphant for decades. There's something about this one. He's kind of special. But Darchon has a dark secret. Don't we all? Don't go in that closet. You don't want to know what's in that closet. Just saying. Yes, he is here to save us. But has anyone ever stopped to question why? Things that make you go, why? So that put it into context for me. Because it wasn't until maybe the middle of the book that I started picking up on the pieces and like, oh, I get it. I'm starting to get it. I'm not that lost, But the creative team behind this book, if I'm correct, here we go, is Mort Castle was the author. Ricardo Jamie is the illustrator. Marlon Ilagan is the colorist. And Zach Matheny is the letterer. Brian Augustine and David Lawrence are the editors. But it was created by Benny Powell. Okay, so that's the creative team behind Darchon for Absolute Comics Group. This is issue #1. The artwork is really good. The perspective is really good. It starts off with them telling you that this woman here is going to die. And like the clock is ticking because she's going to die tonight. Now, what if you knew you were going to die that night? What would you do? Woo, scary thought. Scary thought. What would I do? Dang. Let's get back to that question. I didn't even think about it. But so now she believes, at least in here, she's talking to Edgar Allan Poe. He appears talking to her. There's some elementals, demonic wingback figures flying around. And they go on a trip. He says, you need your rope. So Darchon, basically 2 lives. That's his assistant. They're on a plane, reminiscing on how he came to find her, the whole bit. But there's this element of demons that he's hired to handle, and basically, it's up creek from there. But he's needed for something big. And that's where we end. And there's some really good, the coloring is really good. It complements the art. I love the pacing. It goes back and forth. So you go from memory, flashbacks, present. So it's trying to piece all the pieces in one story together for you. So that's why it gets a little complex. So I had to slow down a bit to catch up. But cool book, cool concept. I like where it's going. I'm glad that you guys added this at the end because it really helped me. It'll help a lot of other people that are just as challenged as I am. But these guys seem to have, Absolute Comics seem to have a lot of titles. They have Wayward Sons, they have Amped, they have Dual Identity, Katrina, and again, Wayward Legends. Just a few. And then White Widow. So they really worked hard on, you know what they remind me of? Cross-generation comics. As far as the way the packaging their stuff and the looks, they really put a lot of thought into it. So Darchon, cool concept. I like it. Will I be a collector? I'm not sure. But I definitely like it. Give a shout out to these guys. And if you guys are watching and you want to get on the show and talk about your book, hit me up. Let's connect on, subscribe to YouTube and hit me up there. Follow on Instagram and hit me up there. So here's another book by Volt Comics. And it's a ninja vampire tale. Bleed them dry. Why do you got to get so extra? Why do you got to bleed them dry? Jeez, what are you going to do with all the blood? And then when they dry, what are you going to do with the carcass? That's what I want to know. So, again, I talked about it last time, but the creative team is created by Kuzumi. And then I will give you their full names when I open the book. And this is issue number 1. Let's open this bad boy up. Bad boys, bad boys. Oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? So let's go into the creative team. So created by Hiroshi Kuzumi, written by Elliot Rahal, art by Dyke Ruan, colored by Mikel Muerto, lettered by End World in association with Lotus, Nagoya TV, and FJ DeSanto. These guys are doing big things. They're connected. They're connected. So, this is pretty dope. I am a fan of this book for many, many reasons. And I'll give you a couple. Just 2? Yes, just a couple. That means, couples too. Anyway, it reminds me of Underworld and also Moon Knight. Have you ever seen Moon Knight, the TV series with the vampire and the detective female, the love triangle? Well, you take those 2 elements and you put them together and you throw it in here and you add some ninjas and some karate, and you got some really good stuff. So it starts off where there's a homicide of a vampire. I guess they're trying to find it as a vampire killer. And, all right, guys, you've all seen CSI, right? Before they come in, what do the authorities have to do with the premises? You said secure, right? Good job. Secure the premises. That's rule number 1. You don't go in until all clear. Then you send the forensics team, CSI, all that stuff. Boom, boom, boom. They do this stuff, and I'm knocking my thing out. And then you do your thing. Well, so happens is they didn't. And so this detective, she's in there doing her thing, and I guess this guy's been hiding. He's been starving. He's linked to this somehow, and he comes out the closet. Remember I said, don't look in the closet? Well, this time you should have looked in the closet. I'm just saying. So, and he goes to strike. And her detective partner, detectives carrying swords, that's a whole new level of extra. And he's like, yeah, slice that body, chopped him up, right? Didn't go so well. Saved the life, but the captain wasn't happy. He's like, what the hell? And he reminds me of the character in Bad Boys, their captain, when he goes flipping out, right? And he's like, woosah, woosah. So he's flipping out. He's pissed. He says, I want results. You need to find the murderer. That was the only lead that we had. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So long-haired, white-haired guy tells his partner, hey, I know a way. I'm going to go talk to the underworld, the black market, where all the criminal elements are. I used to be a narcotics detective. I'm going to go out there and reach out to my contacts, and they should know what's happening and how to get me to find who this killer is. But I was very suspicious of this guy because every time he spoke, he had this look in his face. At times he wouldn't look at her. He's looking down. He just looked like he was up to something shady. My name is Slim Shady. And she's having a problem because she hasn't been able to sleep for days. Right? I've been through that. Where it's like I stare at the ceiling and I stare at the ceiling and I stare at the ceiling and I'm like, what the? And then I go to work and my eyes are burning and my head hurts and I'm like, oh. Then I get back home and I still can't go to sleep. I understand. I feel your pain, girl. So she's eating, or so she's giving her cat some fresh cat food, right? So anyway, she's doing her thing, and then she finds out that her partner arrests the suspected vampire killer without her involvement. And now he's being celebrated as a hero. Did you ever know that you're my hero? Yo, that's shady. You have a partner. You go after this guy by yourself, and now he's like, boom, he's getting daps. He's like, oh, you're up for promotion. You the man. And she's like, what the hell? What the hell? So he does her dirty. She's like, what's going on? I don't get this. Whatever. She's working. Break the midnight candle? Burn the midnight candle. She's in the office working breaking night. No one's supposed to be there, and she hears screaming. This is where the suspicious part came to be. I was like, oh, snaps. So she goes downstairs and she sees some sort of ritual where he's being fed blood by the suspected killer. And he's like, my servant, and it's crazy. So there was conspiracies. You gotta watch out. And so she walks in and catches it. He kills the guy, gets rid of the evidence, no evidence, and then he goes to kill her. He grabs her by the throat. And he says, look into my eyes, detective, stare into the welcoming abyss. Deeper, good. And he goes for that throat. The throat. And then this guy comes out of nowhere. Everybody want kung fu fighting. With his sword and slash. And he goes in. The vampire detective pulls out his Glock, tries to shoot. He dodges it, and then he slices him. Kills him. Kills the vampire detective. He breaks the window. He has some sort of Spider-Man cable shoot out of his wrist. And he swings out with the girl, and the vampire detective that sliced in half is like, help. So I know what's going to happen. They're going to say she killed the suspected killer, and she assaulted him, and now everyone's going to come down on her. I know. I see these things. Call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things. So I'm hooked. I'm definitely a fan of this one. End your board. No, that's not it. I'm reading something else. Anyway. And the next issue is the guy on the roof. So here it is. I didn't even notice. So they also have something in the back. I'm going to read it for the first time. So the year is 3333. Earth is in a state of recovery. Vampires are real. And move my phone. Stop picking up. And when you hear that in the background, it's because my phone is, I don't know if the Bluetooth is doing something. Vampires are real, and though far less populous, they thrive alongside humans in the Japanese engineered megacity known as Asylum, like Batman. People have come to understand that some immortals are good and some are bad, and most navigate the world without incident. There is peace. That is until now. There's always something. Someone comes out of left field and just throws a wrench in everything. Someone is brutally murdering vampires, and Detective Harper Holloway has been assigned to the case to solve it. She'll have to unearth a much deeper truth. The future of humanity has been edited. How do you edit humanity? Anyway, I really like this book. I'm definitely hooked to this book. Vote number 1. You got my vote. You got my vote. Bleed them dry. Again, any of you guys in the creative team, you see this episode, you want to get on our show, our parent show, Catch the Craze, and be a guest and talk about this book, talk about the future of Volt Comics and what you plan on doing. Hit me up. Subscribe to this show. Send me a message. Follow us on IG. Let's connect, right? I'm a fan. Get down with the get down. So, that was Absolute Comics Group, Darchon, and Volt Comics, Bleed Them Dry. This was another episode of What's in the Box. I hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, I'll be tackling 2 other books from that original haul. It's going to take some time to get all these books out of the way. But I am a big supporter of the indie community. All you cats out there that are indies, you have books, you want to send it my way, I'll get it on the show. You want to also get on Catch the Craze and talk about you as a creative and your plans. Let's connect. Check out the Craze in 10 or less. Really good stuff. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Thank you. Please subscribe and donate to our Patreon and become a member. And there's levels to that membership. And you get some really cool stuff. And you get to be down with the Craze and show some love. And we truly appreciate every single one of you. We do this because of you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace.
What's in the box?